Well. Rachel Reeves has gone and done it again. She's only going to expose herself in the most embarrassing way possible. In this video today, we're going to decapitate all her lies, all her exposures, and show her what a fraud she is, and for you, the public, to see the truth. This is in light of her pre-budget announcement speech that she's just done. And seriously, all this woman believes in is tax, going against everything she ever stood for. This is True Brit Media. We're here to speak the truth, expose the truth, and live the truth. And the truth must be heard. And the truth today is, people, that Rachel Reeves has done the biggest U-turn, gone against her own word, and now is starting to look so fraudulent with her idea of what's coming in the budget. People like you and I are going to be hit so badly with this next up-and-coming budget. And everything she said she would do or wouldn't do, she's going to now implement. This is disgusting, and I'm not happy about it, and neither should you be. So make sure you lock in. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're on the road to 14,000 subscribers. Get that notification bell turned on. Hit the like button in the comments and all that good things. Let's get into it. Let's get to the first thing that I want to show you, which is the evidence. Let's take this evidence here. Here is the first few photos I want you to see of Rachel Reeves. Remember these photos, okay? Rachel Reeves. If I become Chancellor, I will not raise taxes on working people. That is my promise to you. Oh no, she's not said that, has she? She's not actually said that. Yeah, she has. That's her official Twitter account. Okay, this is getting awkward. This is getting really awkward. Let's go on. Carefully worded answer from Reeves to GB News. Taxes won't need to go up to pay for what is in this spending review. So again, this is June the 11th. Taxes won't need to go up. Awkward. Next one for Rachel Reeves. I didn't come into politics to raise taxes on working people. Labour will not put up your income tax, national insurance, or VAT. The Conservatives are the party of high tax. Again, Rachel Reeves promises she will not raise taxes again. There are the receipts. Those are the pieces of evidence. Those are the things that I want you to remember when I show you some of these clips. Because this woman is 100% lost her marbles. You can't stand there and promise. You can't stand there and say you're not going to do this. Exactly what you put in your manifesto, exactly what you've promised the electorate, to then go and do the opposite. So let's go into the first clip here that I'm going to show you now, which is her first bit on her speech. Here she is, and have a listen to this, people. Have a listen to this.
My budget, led by this government's values of fairness and opportunity, and focused entirely on the priorities of the British people: protecting our NHS, reducing our national debt, and improving the cost of living. There is a lot of speculation about the choices that I will make. I understand that. These are important choices that will shape the future of our country for years to come. I want people to understand the circumstances we are facing, the principles guiding my choices, and why I believe they will be the right choices for our country.
Can I just say, and I'll let it play on, how robotic does she sound? Also look at her face and body language, and also the tone. The tone of which her speech is just so uninspiring, but also she knows she's got no fuel to power this speech because she's been so fraudulent in what she said in the past. I'll let her continue.
We are a country with considerable economic strengths, an open trading economy, a global hub for cutting-edge industries, from AI to biotech, with world-leading universities and scientific institutions, and a talented and a committed workforce. But years of economic mismanagement has limited our country's potential, with long-term issues continually unchecked and potential unrealised. At the budget last year, I fixed the foundations, dealing with the aftermath of Liz Truss's disastrous mini-budget and the £22 billion black hole in the public finances left by the previous government. I put our public finances back on a firm footing, provided an urgent cash injection into our faltering public services, and began rebuilding our economy. But since that budget, the world has thrown even more challenges our way. The continual threat of tariffs has dragged on global confidence, deterring business investment and dampening growth. Inflation has been too slow to come down, as supply chains continue to be volatile, meaning the costs of everyday essentials remain too high. And the cost of government borrowing has increased around the world, a shift that Britain, with our high levels of debt left by the previous government, has been particularly exposed to. And in an uncertain world, we also face pressure to increase our defence spending, and it is right that we do that, protecting ourselves from hostile actors and supporting our allies. And there are other pressures on the public finances. The Prime Minister, the Secretary of Work and Pensions, and this whole government are committed to reforming our welfare state, so that it is not a system that counts the costs of failure, but one that invests in success and protects those who need it most. There is nothing progressive about refusing to reform a system that is leaving 1 in 8 young people out of education or employment. So we have begun the job of creating a system that protects people who cannot work and empowers those who can.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, let's just cut to the chase here. The excuses that she throws on the Tories and Liz Truss. A lot of hot air, a lot of hot waffle for both of those things. Basically, throwing a little bit of a pity party as well. I was left with a mess. This 22 billion black hole, but by the way, has been debunked and demythed that actually doesn't exist. Just the whole demeanor there was just shocking. It was just blame game. And that annoys me. And she doesn't sound like she knows a way forward. She's blaming world tariffs. There's just so many excuses, so many excuses. And look, I'm going to show you one more clip that to go on. Look about how she's going to deal with the national debt. There is another clip where she talks about Brexit, and it's the same old waffle, making an excuse about Brexit as to why she's now having to make these decisions, which is basically to tax us heavy. Here we go. Listen to this clip.
I understand the urge for easy answers. Politicians of recent years have become addicted to shelling out for short-term sticking plaster solutions, rather than making long-term economic plans. They were irresponsible then. And those who continue to push for easy answers are irresponsible now. The UK's national debt now stands at £2.6 trillion, equivalent to 94% of GDP. Before the mini-budget, our borrowing costs were in the middle of the pack compared to other advanced economies. But now we have the highest borrowing costs of any G7 country. Today, 1 in every £10 of taxpayers' money is spent on debt interest. Not paying that debt down, but just paying the interest to our creditors. At the budget last year, I changed the fiscal rules to strike a careful balance, to invest more in capital alongside a credible plan to grow our economy and bring debt down within this Parliament. That was the right decision to break the cycle of low productivity and low growth. But that additional investment can only be delivered because markets know my commitment to the fiscal rules is ironclad. Some people say that we should just sidestep those rules, that we can borrow more without consequence by simply reclassifying areas like defence or education. But no accounting trick can change the basic fact that government debt is sold on financial markets. There are limits on the price that banks, hedge funds and pension funds are willing to pay for our debt. And we are competing constantly with other countries also selling debt. The more that we try to sell, the more it will cost us. It is important that everyone, the public and politicians, understand that reality. The less we spend on debt interest, the more we can spend on the priorities of working people, our NHS, our schools, our national security. The public service is essential to both a decent society and a strong economy.
There we go. She's saying we need to avoid tackling the debt interest because that will hurt our public services, which is not true, by the way. It's just disgusting. And again, there's so many other clips of Rachel Reeves going around about how she attacked the Tories, how she basically is just obsessed with what they've done. But if you can see there from those two clips, does there anything that give you any belief that she's holding this down? No. Look, and I want to show you the reaction to social media. Have a look at this. This is what some of the social media stuff are saying. Martin Dwani. Rachel Reeves blames anybody and anything but herself and Labour. Here comes the excuses, thick and fast. Previous governments, Brexit, austerity, the pandemic. When will they admit the buck stops with them? Facts. I hear Rachel Reeves is going to put up income tax because she has to make tough choices. Really? She's choosing to waste billions on net zero, illegal immigrants, climate aid, welfare for foreigners, giving away sovereignty. She's a liar. She should resign. Jeremy Carr was fed up with her. It's just shocking. It's just shocking. There's so much reaction to, again, her ridiculous there. And then Bernie finishing off there. Well, what a ridiculous speech. Rachel Reeves has managed to blame everyone else but herself. Also, let's cover misinformation because what she said doesn't reflect reality. They've increased quangos, not cut them. Increased regulations, not cut them. Tied us to high EU carbon trading prices, bringing in extra carbon import taxes, increased public sector stuff, increased public sector wages, low productivity linked to energy costs, so many more lies. All of them above will continue to increase the cost of living, not bring it down. So there you go. Facts, facts, facts. Damn indictment of the state of the British economy there from Rachel Reeves. When she catches up with whoever's responsible for managing that economy, they'll be held to pay. Look, and that's the thing. The blame game is crazy. End of the day, I can't trust this woman because she couldn't even get a fucking license for a house that she was renting. And she broke the law and she pretended she couldn't even see the email about it. I'm not having it. This woman holds us in no hope, no future prosperity. She hasn't got a clue how to deal with this budget. And she's going to tax to the hills and not cut. And it's going to hurt us badly. Let's see what happens. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash a like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I'm out of here. Ta-da.